If you guys watched the last video, you'll know we definitely could have ruined this new motor. So when we put the timing cover on at the track, there's a bolt in there that actually pushed on the timing cover exactly where my return fitting is. It actually broke the welds on the return fitting, and when I was under there trying to tighten it, I actually noticed that it was rocking back and forth, which means it was already cracked. And if that would have happened on the track, I never would have caught it. I don't have a safety built into my tables for low oil pressure to shut the engine down, so we would have just ran it with the return line puking out oil until the motor had no more oil in it. Now the downside is a lot of this has to be pulled apart to get that front cover off of there, like the water manifold, the alternator, the turbo. So while I'm in there, I might as well address our crankcase issues. As you guys know, at Texas 2K, we had a lot of oil blow out of our catch can, and I think it's restricted because of our dash 10 covers. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put a dash 16 bung in the valley, and we're going to join it up to the dash 16 bung on the catch can, and that should help evacuate a lot of that crankcase pressure. So we're in for a lot of mindless wrenching today. The music's on. I know how to do this. I've done it 40,000 million times already. It's just, you just gotta do it. Also, Street Outlaws is coming to Canada right here. I don't know who the Canadian team captain is, but this is our local track. I'm going to be there. I've already bought tickets. I don't know if I'm going to race in it at all because I don't know who the team captains are, or even if there's a spot for someone like me. I would love to be on the team. Oh my God, we've never seen this site before. I don't know why this keeps happening to me. Every time I'm like, yeah, I'm done with the car. Comes in here, half apart. Bro, I can't stop thinking about Street Outlaws coming to Canada though. That's what's on my mind right now. Do I put slicks on this thing, try and get on Team Canada? Kind of cool. Mind the coolant peeing out, but you can see that the bolt behind that looks like it probably hit right where we welded maybe and pushed that out. So we gotta find a new spot for that hole. Okay, we did it live on a TikTok. We got the cover off though. That's the one we broke. There was one on each side. I wasn't able to use this one. We used this one. It just looked like I probably welded it a little bit cold, so I welded this one in here probably way before I welded that one in. And it just looks like it broke off. And I'm actually super thankful that it happened here in the garage instead of like out on the street. And the motor is just gonna work so much better that the crankcase is just vented a lot better and that the oil drain is going in a good spot. Look how far out that bolt sticks right there. That's the one that kind of pushed through our fitting. That bolt is actually a smaller hex head bolt, which is probably why it worked on the old setup versus the new one. All right, we'll just blap off this valley cover real quick and we'll get all the welding done one time. Of course those are tight. Why wouldn't they be, Kyle?
Start it up.
All right, so for a lot of you guys who don't know about crankcase ventilation, usually you vent your valve covers. Your factory valve covers are vented. A lot of them have a line that just goes from the valve cover to the intake manifold, and then the vacuum from the intake manifold actually helps evacuate some of the crankcase pressure. Obviously, when you start spinning things super high in the RPM range and you start making a lot more power and more blow by past the rings, you're gonna get some crankcase pressure buildup. So I have two dash 10 lines. They worked for a long time and it flowed plenty. We always recommend go dash 12 on the valve covers, just it's better. And basically everything in the engine is a sealed unit. So, and there are passages that connect your valve covers all the way down to the bottom so oil can return back down into the crankcase. So you can use the valve covers to vent, but you can also use this valley cover because these holes right here go directly down past the cam and then down to the crank as well. Quick knowledgeable tips of the day, bro. So if you're building yourself a turbo setup, make sure it's vented. You can use two valve covers on an LS that have the oil fill, and you can actually get adapters to convert the oil fill into vents, and you can vent it that way. So just make sure you got good crankcase vent, or else you're gonna have oil back up through your turbo and then go out the exhaust. Too much pressure in the crankcase tries to push the oil back up the return line, and you're gonna get a smoky turbo. We've got a couple of options here. We've got a dash 10 on this side. This is originally where the fitting broke. This was a dash 12. I've cleaned it out. We're gonna weld that one up If we have to, we can run a dash 10 to the turbo. I want to run a dash 12, and that's why I moved this dash 12 down, probably half an inch. We're gonna weld that one in there, and then we've got to fill this gap also. So I don't want to warp this piece. I'm gonna do my best to bolt it down to the table. Jeez Louise, freaking launched the wrench across the garage. The lighting's all weird, but the door is open, which is way better than the lighting anyways. I don't even care. Suck it. Looks like a little bit of a bird turret just because some of the spots weren't cleaned. There was like a hole right here that wasn't cleaned, and then, you know, bird turret. Doesn't matter. It's done. The next one on the list, this dash 16 fitting has to go in there. So we've got to drill a hole, you know, that big. I'm probably gonna regret trying to do a step bit on this one. I swear to you guys, somebody in here can relate to this. I had to use 4 different step bits to drill this hole right here. Each one of these step bits has like one that's messed up in a weird spot. So this one's messed up. So I had to use this one up until that point. Then I had to use this one, and then I had to use this one for like the higher ones. Certain parts of my step bit are worn out. So I have to use like a combination to get a whole step bit now. I also went ahead and I swapped out these lower bolts right here with some of the valley cover bolts. They're both M8, but you can see the difference in the length of the head. So this was a washer plus this bolt, and then you can see that this one just is so much shallower than that one. So it gives us an extra little bit of clearance on our oil drains because this was the recess right here for where that bolt fits, and then I had to actually fill this one, so. Hope that works. I'll just use the other 2 bolts for the oil pump on like the back of the valley cover so you don't see it. Sneaky little bolts that are back there that I know are back there, and you know that they're back there now. Anyways, clean everything off, put it back on. You guys don't need to see that. You guys seen it 100 million times before. So I'll end up doing it live on TikTok because I'm just trying to grow all the socials right now, trying to get big, trying to get invited to some of these big events. Like I said, Street Outlaws coming to Canada. I want to be part of the team. I want to be at that event. I've already got my VIP tickets bought. I bought them like 2 minutes after the tickets opened. So I'm going to be there regardless, but I want to be racing too. It's like 2 days before Miles of Mayhem. We went live so long on TikTok, my phone shut down. I went from 85% battery all the way to dead on a TikTok live. It had to be over 2 hours. Honestly, having people to talk to while out in the garage, it seems so stupid, but my motivation went up. So look at this. We did this all on the live. The motor is back together basically. We even made another oil line, a dash 12 one instead of the dash 10 one. It's got a little bit of a bend in it right there, but that's dash 12. But that's dash 12 instead of dash 10, so now our turbo is going to be much happier. You're welcome, Nick. We've got our breather right here. That's going to go from up here along there, straight into that one. And then we're going to use this one to vent. And aside from the charge piping, this thing is done again. The only other thing, the dash 12 thing was huge. I wanted that for sure. The vent and the valve cover is huge. The only other thing that I would really like to do is brace the turbo, just some sort of rod that goes down from the bottom of the block up to the turbo. And I think we're done with this. I think it's ready. I want to be at No Prep Kings. So Chevy Reeves reached out to me. Their family, I believe, owns Rad Torque Raceway where they're going. And he's gonna let me know what classes there's gonna be. I really want to get on the show. That would be amazing. So I'll do whatever I need to do to this car to be able to run Street Outlaws on Friday, Saturday, and then put it back together and run Miles of Mayhem Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So that's how close the schedule is. My tickets are already bought for Street Outlaws. Unbelievable opportunity, especially in Canada for someone like me. Just cutting up slabs of steel here for the Arc Droid. Didn't even realize you could buy 6-inch wide, 8-inch thick, like long 20 feet pieces. And now I just got to cut this up into sections. It'll be easy to store, and it'll be plenty for our Arc Droid. Rawr kitty. My plasma cutter's broken, so we got to go steal Tyson's. He's also got an Arc Droid, so I'm just going to do it at his house. There was a loud compressor in the background, but this is Tyson's buggy. It's LSA powered. It's going to be super cool. It's something different that I've never seen before. Now this is actually kind of a sneak preview behind the scenes kind of thing because I'm working on this drag and drive trailer for a Mark V Supra. It's the first one I think ever, and I'm making some brackets to hold like the wheels and the tires, like the drag pack onto the trailer. It would have been super easy to do with my arc droid, but it's broken. Definitely not putting this in the back of a Hellcat. Just kidding, it's a daily driver. What the hell? Guess the boys need my help. That's new, I've never seen this one. Yeah, I haven't been up here in a while.
BMW.
Oh, gross. Slanty engines.
He's very stubborn with his Beamer stuff.
And then a 2J with a manifold that doesn't fit.
Yeah. I don't know what kind of vehicle it's even made for, because it's, like, it's just way too close to it.
Probably a Supra.
You think so? Is there a lot more room behind the engine?
Oh, this is super easy fix.
Yeah?
Yeah, you're...
Just like a turn it in.
Yeah, turn it in there. It'll be super easy.
Like, if I have to bash this in, it's fine. For the wastegate.
Yeah, I can make that shorter too. I like to help out when I can because I know how it is to be in that situation where you don't have the skill to do something and you just panic because you're like, I need to get this done. I don't know who to bring it to. I have those skills. I don't mind helping out sometimes. It makes me feel good. Pretty nice manifold here. It's actually for a 2J or a 1J or whatever it is, inline 6. With it, well, on his specific setup, the downpipe actually goes like right here. So the wastegate can't go here. It's got to angle just a little bit more. I don't have any schedule piping like this around here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to angle cut it, probably make one pie cut in it, and just move the wastegate over just a little bit. Just enough that we can put a 3-inch downpipe in there. All right, here goes nothing, I guess. See what we can do. Now, how do we cut the bottom side though? I'm just gonna mark where this one traveled past. You think a 5-inch disc will do the trick? Maybe. One way to find out. Not quite. You think a 7-inch disc will do it? Probably. I'm not standing in front of this one. We better save this disc. It might come in handy again. All right, that'll work. Our old position was right here on these lines, and we just clocked it. I put it the other way. The weld came out, you know, okay, it is back purged. The only hard part was on the back side. I had to do the old bend the tungsten technique back there. A little bit of a sneaky in the back door. All right, we're gonna put this on the belt sander because the flange is a little bit warped, and we're gonna see if we can straighten it up, and then done with this for the day. And I did say I would help him with his charge piping and his downpipe just because I know those are little simple things that don't take me a long time but can really make the aesthetic of an engine bay look really nice. So I don't mind helping out to make something look presentable and functional. And on the flip side, it's really cool to see my work on other cars. I do love when I go to events or stuff like that and I'm like, oh, I built that little piece right there. I built that little piece right there. I built that whole ass car right there. It's cool to say.
Hello.
One of these things out like the other here. What's that
Mine's got the
that's your kid's truck. Yeah.
things on it. It's a bit different.
It's not perfect. Like, the guy cut the door panels out, so he did it to save a lot of weight. There is spot rod panels blocked off, but you might want to get a set of doors. The cage looks decent in it. I inspected it. It's got a tubular front end kit with it. I don't know what they're worth, like probably what it is. The only issue paint-wise is right here. It does have a couple cracks in it, but other than that, it's just dirty. It'll clean up.
It's a
And
friggin'
needs a dash
sunroof
pad.
too. So I think the idea is Gina wants a faster car,
Gina needs more cars.
but she doesn't want to put a cage in the other Fox.
No, mine's a T-tops.
Oh, yes, that's right.
So I really don't want to. I want to be able to have something that like the kids can still get in the back too, and
Yeah.
we can use the T-tops if I want to. That's okay. I'm talking about mine's a
Right.
street car.
Mm-hmm.
This one would be my fast car with the
Like, I bet you
cages.
it's just
And then we were thinking Coyote turbo.
set up for a coyote.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Now, I haven't verified that, but
So you wanted a 4-eyed one.
I like the 4 eyes. Yep.
So
cheap
4
little
eyes.
self. So
That'll
you
go.
can get rid of it.
Yeah.
These cars look like Swiss cheese.
They are Swiss cheese. But that's how you're gonna get anyone that you buy is gonna be like this. Well, it's got the aftermarket cover. It's got an ARB in it.
The ARB is really nice.
It's stock location springs and shocks. So.
Weird. Fred.
Oh, and the windows don't go down, do they?
No, because he cut all that shit out.
Yeah.
So that's why I was saying you probably
want a set of doors.
And
Oh,
So pretty.
so pretty.
So pretty.
Gina might end up with another Fox.
Maybe.
You can't even see my face. I'm half a face right now. If we get another Fox, it's getting a Coyote. You're half a face too. All right, sun is starting to go down, but there's still enough daylight to do one last task for the day. I feel like I've just non-stop today. We're gonna change out the winter wheels on the GTI for the fun wheels. Now remember this color right here? Boom. Fun wheels. This was actually a brand new rim because when they sent us the wheels the first time, they left the lug nuts loose in the box and it kind of like smashed up the wheel. So we had to get a new one. Ready to go on. All right, the new shinies. That's the one thing I don't like about VWs.
Is what?
They don't have studs. They're bolts.
Oh,
So the studs usually hold it and then you put nuts on the studs. But
right.
these foreign guys, probably should get some like blue lug nuts too that match.
You think so?
You could.
Why not just red?
You could also get red ones. So, yeah, Street Outlaws coming to Canada. That's going to be super cool. Like I said, I'm trying to get on Team Canada for Street Outlaws. If that means that I have to race someone that's probably a little bit faster than me, that's okay too. But do my best to kick some ass.
I'm sure you will, though.
We're going to be there regardless though. So, if you guys are thinking about going to a Street Outlaws and you in Canada, make sure to hit that one up.
Oh yeah. Woo.
That's way cooler. Just gotta wash it now. Didn't say in the last video, but I love you. Peace, easy, get heavy.